The Mayan calendar. I'm sure many people in this room have heard of the Mayan calendar, but how many people know exactly what the Mayan calendar is? There are many versions of the Mayan calendar, but the long count calendar is thought to be of most importance because it speculates the end of the world. The different versions of the Mayan calendar were very important in the development and completion of the final draft of the long count calendar. And knowing about the Mayan calendar will not only help us better understand its relevance, it will better help us understand our fate as mankind. Throughout history, many scholars have tried to interpret the calendar. However, not all who studied the works were able to agree on the theories of the calendar. One theory by Holly Lebowitz Rossi, author of the article Belief Watch in the magazine Newsweek, states that the Mayan calendar proceeds in cycles, not in a straight line. So what exactly is the Mayan calendar? The Mayan calendar was derived from the Mayans on the cycles of the sun and moon. Although from the title, we assume there's only one Mayan calendar, however there are really 4 different versions of the Mayan calendar. Sylvanus Griswold Morley, the author of An Introduction to the Study of the Maya Hieroglyphs, states these 4 calendars in his book. The first calendar is the Tana model, which is a 260-day period that consists of 20 trekina of 13 days each, equaling 260 days altogether. The second calendar is the Hab, also known as the Silver Year, which consists of 365 days with 18 20-day months and 5 phantom days tucked in at the end. This puts the Hab only about a quarter of a day short of the actual solar year. Another calendar is known as the calendar round, which is an 18,980-day period. The fourth and most important version of the calendars is the long count calendar. Kaplan explains the theory behind the long count calendar in saying, the Maya scrupulously recorded the dates of important events in terms of their 0 day, in what archaeologists have come to call the long count. The fact that the Maya did record their dates in terms of their 0 day is what gives the calendar its name, because it takes so long to name so many days. In Pawlowski's Long Count 101 section, he describes that the calendar consists of different units of time. A kin being 1 day, a unal being 20 days, and a ton being 360 days or 18 unals. Pawlowski, a writer for CNN, also states the calendar shows the number of days will elapse since the beginning date, which was August 12, 3114 BC. However, as quickly and as easily as the calendar started, it also comes to an end. G. Jeffrey McDonald of USA Today states that December 21st, 2012 marks the end of a 5,126-year cycle. Because of the way the Mayans record their dates, December 21st, 2012 would be written as 13.0.0.0.0, and the day after that as 0.0.0.0.1. No one really knows for sure why the Mayan calendar ends so abruptly, but it does, so we can assume this to be the end of the world. As a population, we are infatuated with major events and catastrophes, and many times in our history we have predicted the end of the world. Times such as Y2K have come and gone without repercussions, so can we assume the same for the end of the Mayan calendar? Bob Berman describes how the end of the Mayan calendar how the end of the world will take place in his academic journal entitled End of the World 2012. He explains that the Earth's orbit makes the sun pass in front of the galactic plane, the Milky Way, twice a year every June and December, also known as the solstices. He then portrays the idea that the year 2012 will be very different because the sun crosses the galactic plane to December 21st, the day of the solstice. Therefore, the fact that winter will will supposedly block or maybe enhance this energy for some reason. Berman also quotes a Belgian researcher in saying this phenomena will reverse the magnetic field of the sun, causing it to become 10 to 20 times hotter, which will reverse Earth's rotation on its axis and flood its inhabitants. However, not everyone believes the end of the Mayan calendar will bring an end to the world. Pawlowski of CNN quotes Jenkins as saying that cycle endings were about transformation and renewal, not catastrophe for the Maya. He also makes the case that the period they chose coincides with the alignment of the December solstice sun and the center of the Milky Way as viewed from Earth. Jenkins also states that 2,000 years ago, the Maya believed that the world would be going through a great transformation when this alignment happened. This is what sparks Rossi in quoting David Carisco, a professor of Latin American religions at Harvard University, in saying, "The world collapses, but then it gets reborn." This theory for the end of the Mayan calendar is one that goes along with Jenkins' idea that the end of the cycle will bring about transformations and renewal, not necessarily catastrophe. The debate over the Mayan calendar and the end of the world is interesting and somewhat nerve-wracking. Unfortunately, we can't be sure if the world will come to an end until the calendar ends. Whether or not you believe 2012, December 21st, 2012 is the last day of the Earth's existence, or is just another day, is up to you. Through my personal learning about the different Mayan calendars, the important long count calendar, and the differing views of scholars, I hope I have enlightened you on the hot topic of society today, and motivated you to think more thoroughly about the Mayan calendar and the possible end of the world.